Hey guys, it's Asgard here. Today I wanted to tell you a little bit about this online multiplayer real-time game that I've been playing called Grepolis. It's a really good game where you build up your cities in real time and launch attacks against enemies in order to conquer their cities and things. So just wanted to run a few tutorials through just for any new players out there, just so they can get into the swing of things. Some of the later tutorials will go through some of the advanced maths and mechanisms behind it as well. So kicking off, we're going to have a little run through the game screen that you can see here. Taking up the broad space of the screen is your city, is your build screen. Here you can click on various different buildings, for example the temple, the academy, places like that, and open up their interfaces. And you can also upgrade some of the buildings. So for example, you can either upgrade them from the Senate here. As you can see, a lot of them are fully upgraded, but you can upgrade them by clicking the upgrade here. You can see the resources they cost and the time it takes them to be built as well. Alternatively, you can click down here and actually it'll pop up showing you the levels of all of your buildings, and it will give you the option to click on the hammer just there. Say for example I wanted to upgrade my Senate, it would then start deduct the resources automatically, and you can see it pops up down here. And you have two slots, so then when you finish the first building, the second one will automatically kick off. Moving over to the top here, you can see that you have the resources up here. There are three resources. There's wood, there's stone, and there's coin or silver. Each island will have a resource that is produced much faster and a resource that is produced much more slowly. So it's all about balancing those resources out a little bit. The other almost resource is free population. That only goes up when you increase the level of your farm, which you can find by here at its max level of 45. Though that population is really the most limiting factor really to the size of your armies, because that is a stationary number that will eventually hit a maximum, and you can then use some of that population to build buildings and upgrade your buildings, or you can use that extra population on your armies to make really, really big armies. When you then lose those soldiers, that population will automatically go back up the same amount that it went down when you built the unit. So that's usually the limiting factor for how big your armies can be, and helps you to really, really expand and encourage you to build more cities. Other things over here we have, so this is usually the city dependent panel is what I'm going to call it. As you have the god here that your city's worshipping, there are 6 gods you can worship. As you can see here, I'm worshipping Hera. You can click on the panel here, just open up their god powers, and you can activate various god powers for the city just by clicking on the little tile. And if you hover over it, it does tell you as well what the ability does. For example, if I wanted that, it would give me 500 coins, and if I click it, my coins will go up by 500 as well. Here we have the hero that is currently assigned to your city, including their level. You can level them up there as well, but I will talk through heroes and things in another video. Underneath is how many hero coins you currently have. You use them to upgrade and buy new heroes. Underneath that you have battle points. Battle points can be used in order to gain culture points and build more cities. I will go through those in a little bit more detail when we talk about culture points and building new cities as well. And here we have the units that are currently in this city. They all have their pros and cons. Some will be defensive, some will be offensive, and they all contribute to the reason why I have so much free population, because I can build a lot more soldiers in this city. Down here I usually ignore, that's just notifications, but there's other places to get notifications. Here there's currently an event running, so you can click on that and take part in the event. Moving on over to the panels here. Up here you can see any trade that is coming into the city, either coming in or going out, any troop movements that are coming in or out, any recruitment. So as you can see, I'm currently building 3 harpies, which will take 1 hour and 44 minutes. I can spend gold in order to upgrade them. Gold is the premium currency. As you can see, it's up here. I've got 6,200. No idea how I acquire that much, by playing the game a lot, I suppose. And you can buy a bit more here. While we're over here, just to finish off, you also have the settings, the mute, the help, and the log out buttons, essentially. Back over here, this grayed out sort of crossed swords here, that will flash up, and your whole screen will flash red if one of your cities is under attack. You then have the overview, which is the premium overview if you have a premium account, which I'll tell you a little bit more in a minute about. This is your inventory. When you get special abilities, these are then kept in your inventory. So opening that up, you can see I have a load of different abilities that will do various things to my cities that are just waiting there to be used. I can use them at any point just by clicking on them and activating them. Some will work to your current city, some will work to all cities. So for example, this one will automatically recruit griffins in the city that I'm currently in, or this one might increase my resource production, but they'll all tell you. Or this one will apply to all of my cities and make my my lightships much more effective for 5 days. So that's the inventory. Then you have notes. If you want to ever make any notes, I like to make notes on my city allocations just so I remember what my cities are meant to be doing, because I'll do a whole video on it, but it's really important to specialize your cities because of that limited population again. At the top then we have your current city, so I'm currently in the city of Antioch. You can then either use the left and right to change cities, and you'll see that suddenly there's no soldiers, my buildings are all different levels and things, and you can keep scrolling through and suddenly look, I've got a different god and things, and suddenly no free population. But if we go back to Antioch, you'll see as well underneath there's all of the active effects. So if in my inventory I did activate any of these would pop up underneath there, and I could see what was currently active. Alternatively, you can hit the down arrow and it will show you all of your currently available cities. Moving back on over to here, there's the quest log. Quests are really important. You'll be set a whole bunch of quests just to kick you off and really help teach you through the game, teach you how to do things, and gives you some really good rewards, including a bit of gold. And there's a few effects there as well that are to do with the event currently going on. One other thing in quests as well is there are island quests. So these are really important to do. As you can see, you have to be in the correct city. So if I click on this, it'll automatically take me. So you'll see I'm in Troy. And then you've got it'll give you a scenario, and you've got two options. One will either be quite an aggressive one and give you coins of war. Some will give you coins of wisdom and another effect. And you can then use those to upgrade your heroes. So coins of wisdom will upgrade your wisdom heroes, and coins of war will upgrade your war heroes as well. So important to balance up the negative impacts, the things you've got to do in order to follow that decision. So in this case, I've got to dispatch 1,260 units. In this one, I've just got to wait for a bit of time. The ability you get and which set of coins you need for your heroes, which hero you're looking at currently upgrading. So over here is what I would call the sort of global panel. You have this whole long list here of various different functions. If you're on mobile, there is a mobile app. This is the menu button in the bottom right hand corner. Things like messages that you send between other players, reports, which are when you have attacks coming in and spells being done, things like that. Your alliance, if you've got an alliance, by clicking that, it'll open up your alliance panel, which I will go through in another video. But you can look at things like members of your alliance, things like that. Alliance forum, again, a really important thing that's really need checking. Just to keep up to date with what's happening in your alliance. It's where you can ask for help if you're under attack, or you can go support other players if they are under attack. Domination is the end game. It's how you win. So as you can see, there's 10 days left before we enter the end game. I will again talk about that in another video. Ranking then is literally, as it says on the tin, see your ranking. So you can see global, alliances and players. Ocean is sort of the people around you. So you can see how you stack up against people who are nearby. Alliances, again, is how your alliance is matched against alliances that are close to you. Profile then is what people can see. So it usually has some of your points, things like that. You can change your profile and some of your texts and things using edit profile, and it'll give you a nice long list of all your cities that people can see and how well built up they are and where they are on the map as well. So as you can see, 018 is pretty well built up. That's pretty much the highest it'll be built up to, 1400, and is in Ocean 44, which is where most of my cities are, it has to be said. Invite friends is just an option for you to invite friends, and you get gold, which is again the premium currency, if they join following that link. And then the forum takes you to an external page where people discuss the game, bugs, and things like that. Moving up then, these grayed out people are the premium account, so you can activate them for 100 gold for 14 days, and they have various benefits that I'll explain to you in the tutorial. Essentially, the administrator activates those panels we were discussing, gives you a really in-depth look at your cities, helps you manage them. Merchant increases your resource production. High Priestess increases your favour production and makes your mythical units fight stronger. Commander just makes your land units fight stronger. And the Captain does a few things. Makes your naval units fight faster, moves your trade much faster. Activates an attack planner, which we will discuss in a later video, which is really helpful. And gives you a farming village overview, which I will talk you through in a minute. Next up is your Grepo score. That's kind of a gauge of how your achievements, how well you've done, the sort of things you've done, higher it is, the longer you've played essentially. Then it's just your coordinates. That's not very frequently used. I don't think I've ever used them, in fact. Then it's the ocean you're in, so as you can see, all my cities are pretty much in Ocean 44, which is where Troy is, where we are currently. And then you have these little buttons up here. So we're currently on city view. As you can see, you are overlooking my city. It's lovely. There's a nice temple. You can then change to island view. So as you can see, actually, it's not on my island at the moment. So if I click jump to current city, it'll jump and you'll see there's Troy sitting happily on this island in Ocean 44. A little bit about the map here. So as we said, each island has a positive resource and a negative resource. So as you can see, I'm getting wood in really quickly, 277 per hour, but silver in really slowly at 1791 per hour. So really big difference. There's an island quest on this, so this is another way of looking at your island quests and opening it up and deciding what you want to do there. As you can see around my island, there are a load of other cities with all different colours. So gold are your own cities, blue are your alliances cities, green are cities that are in different alliances but you've got an alliance with that alliance, so you don't want to attack those either. You can basically assume they're basically blue as well. Red then are enemies, so my alliance is currently at war with the Alliance Dire Straits, so the people you should be targeting. As you see, people tend to clump together, so this is a lot of islands with lots of blue and things on them, not very much red at all. These little grey things here are, as I mentioned, the farming villages. So these are villages you can use once you've conquered them. So for example, these are greyed out, these aren't yet conquered. To conquer them, you just click on them and you can build them using the battle points you get. So battle points you get by killing enemy units, 1 for every population you manage to kill. So in order to build this, I would have to spend 100 battle points, which I don't really want to do. But as you can see on this island here, which I have the city of 44310, so if we go to this city, as you can see it's now changed to this city, I have access to these 3 farming villages. So if I click on one, you have the option of collecting resources from them. So for example, if I choose this one, I'll collect 167 of each resource, and then in 20 more minutes time I can choose again. So say for example I choose it, and it'll give me those resources, and I've got to wait 20 more minutes before I can choose again. You can upgrade it for 25 more battle points, which will increase these numbers of resources. You can trade with it So each farming village has a different resource it'll trade. So this one is they're requesting silver and they'll give you stone. This one, for example, is requesting wood and they'll give you silver. As you can see, it starts off at a ratio of 1 to 1.25. So you pay 2,000 wood, you get 2,500 silver. Really, really great deal. Then if you trade it, you'll see that it actually goes down to 1 to 0.85. So really, really got to be careful. Really worthwhile when you're actually getting more resources and it's over 1. But watch out, it does get very, very low. So you've got to weigh it up at times. We mentioned a little bit about the captain and the farming villages overview. That essentially means you can, rather than going through each farming village in turn, you can just bring up the overview and do it. Say I want to collect 20 from every village all at once, rather than going through each village and selecting 20. Last thing you can do just here is you can actually levy soldiers from them. They will eat into your free population, and they all take 3 hours to do. So for example, if I wanted 12 slingers, it'll give me 12 slingers and it'll take 12 out of my free population, and I can't collect any resources either for 3 hours. So that's farming villages. You'll see as well there's a mix of large islands with farming villages on them, and they also get quests. And there's also little islands that people don't spawn on, but you can go and found a new city on there. People tend to avoid it because they don't count in the end game, and they don't have farming villages, they don't get quests, things like that. But they can be quite useful for nearby support, and because there's less spaces on them, you can defend them really, really nicely if you need to. Again, just navigate by clicking and dragging and having a good look around. The final button, so we've shown city view, we've shown island view, is world view. So if you click on world view, just zooms you out, you can see my island there, and you can see the little dots then represent the cities. They still have all the same colours, and that essentially allows you to get a really, really good overview of all the islands around you. You can see the lines here with a little 44 in it. This is Ocean 44. As you can see, it's not mega ginormous. And you can have a look into, say, for example, Ocean 55, where suddenly all of the islands become very red, very dangerous, and very threatening. So that's a really, really quick overview of the play screen. I don't think I've really missed anything. One thing I will say, when you open up a panel, for example this one, you can minimize it, and then it drops down over here where you can maximize it again. Really good if you're writing a message, maybe you need to check some details in the forum, something like that. But if you do have loads of different panels open, you can just click the red there and it will close all of the panels. So that's a really quick overview. Hope that helped to alleviate some of maybe the uncertainties around what some of the buttons do and things. We'll get into some of the more gamey features, and we'll look at some of the most effective units, things like that, in a later video. Thanks, bye guys.